Simple process for making models for parking garages and dealing with the slope. So one of the first things that we want to do is just simply draw a rectangular box which gives us an outline for our parking garage. So I'm just going to model lines and just simply draw a simple rectangle. This rectangle is just going to be my basic module for my parking garage. So I'm going to quickly make this and then come back and analyze the dimensions. So this dimension is going to change dramatically. So as I pick this line, what I do know is this dimension, I would like it be somewhere around 62 feet or 64 feet. So I'm going to make it 64 feet, okay? And then this dimension, I know I would like it to be minimum about 100 and something, 170 feet plus about 30 and 30. So at least somewhere around 250 to 270. So right now I'm going to make it 300. I know I'm going to change it, but right now I'm going to make it 300. This gives me a sense of how big I would like my parking garage to be. This is each lane of it. Quickly I move the elevations so I get to see them nice and clean. Let's move this one also out of the block. And what I like to do is move this one even further more. And if I want 3 modules, I can do 3 modules. But right now I just want to do 2 modules, so I'm going to offset it another 64 feet. So I actually am creating the 2 zones. So I'm basically offsetting it 64 feet. I'm going to quickly offset about 1 foot in each direction. So I'm going to go zoom really close, not 1 inch, 1 foot. Okay, so 1 foot to this side and 1 foot to this side. Okay, so that gives me a zone of where I would like to go. Oops, oops, oops. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so this is basically my rectangular base that's there. So I'm just going to get rid of this guy and chamfer this corner. And come back and chamfer this corner too. So that's just each side of my ramp. Each side of my ramp is essentially that way. So later on I can actually draw some more, but this gives me a sense of where I'm going. All right. Now I'm just going to quickly either draw a wall there. That's something that gives me a sense of direction where I'm going. So I'm just going to go put a wall, architecture wall, any kind of wall, as long as it gives me a sense of direction. All right, so 8-inch foundation, 8-inch wall is fine. So I'm just going to put my wall right there. Okay, and I can easily move my wall back if I wanted to, but that wall gives me a sense of direction from where to where am I going. So the next thing I need to do is draw a reference plane. So I'm going to draw a reference plane. Doesn't matter. I'm going to put it right here. It has to be parallel. If it's not parallel, I'm in trouble. I give that reference plane a name. I can click over here and give it a name, and I'm going to say ramp. Okay, so that's my ramp slope. Okay, so that's my ramp slope. The name shows up over here. Now I'm going to do a section, draw a section. I can draw it there or I can draw it here. It doesn't matter. I just drew a section. I'll click on here and I recognize I've got this section 1. So if I looked at section 1, I can see my wall that's happening here. The next thing I like to do is change my floor to floor height. Remember we talked about floor to floor height. I like to change it to 10'6". Okay. The next thing that I like to do is quickly create another plane. So I go to level, go from this side, drag it until it gets to roughly the same zone, and I like it to be 10'6" plus 10'6", so it gives me 21 feet. Okay, 21 feet. Okay, right now I made my wall 20 feet. I click on my wall, I go over here, and my wall is 20 feet. I want my wall to be 21 feet. Okay, so now my wall is exactly the same height. Now I like to establish my slope. Doesn't matter where I get my slope. I'm just making it the area that I can draw a little bit wider so I can see where I'm going. So somewhere in this section, I like to draw a cross section. So it allows me to draw a slope. But rather than doing that, I'm going to go Architecture, Component, Model in Place. So long as I'm in this section, it's going to ask me some questions. So I'm just going to say, I would like it to be floor. Okay, so it's up to you. So I'm going to make it as a floor. Say OK. And I say floor 1 is OK. It's going to prompt, if I say extrude, it's going to prompt from what plane. I have created a plane, reference plane, ramp, slope. This is the most important thing. If you have not created the reference plane, if you're not working off this section, if you didn't name your reference plane, you cannot do this. Okay, so I click on reference plane that I created, ramp, slope, say OK. It allows me now to work. So I'm just going to go simply from anywhere horizontally, 100 feet, hit enter, then, all right. Then I'm going to go from that tail end, go straight up 8 feet. Make sure it's straight up 8 feet. What that does, it gives me a slope. All right. Now what I like to do is take that first line, offset it 10 foot 6 inches. Take this line, offset it 10 foot 6 inches. Come on over here, chamfer this line and this line, and it gives me my slope. There's my ramp. Okay, so I can get rid of now this line, and chamfer this. This, as long as it is a complete enclosed polyline without any crossover, without any openings, I should be able to check it. Before I check it, I'm going to give it the thickness of 62 feet. Okay, you can change this easily, and I'm going to show you where you can change it. All right, check it twice. Go to the site plan. You're looking at it from the top. This is your object. Now that I've drawn this, I no longer need my wall. So I'm going to get rid of my wall. All right, so get rid of my wall. Here's my ramp. If I want my ramp to happen on this side, I can let it happen on this side. If I want it to happen on that side, I can make it happen on that side. So here's my ramp, and that's what I need for my ramp. So then I can say, oh, really, I don't need this to be there. I don't need this to be there. I can also move that whole thing from here to here. I have to make sure I don't stretch it as I'm moving. So I just moved it without stretching it. Okay. I look back in my section, make sure it's actually working. I look back in my section, it's actually working. You could also take your levels to match that so you can actually see that whole thing. All right, right now I'm cool. All right, so now I would like to mirror that ramp. So I'm going to mirror this ramp straight up and down this way. Now all I have to do is copy, take it from here, and stick it right there. Now I've taken the two ramps, except I would like to take that ramp and extrude it differently. Let's take a look. I'm going to go back to the site, and both ramps are sitting on top of each other. Okay, so before I move it, I rather do that. Okay, so this one, first I want to move it from here to somewhere here. All right, it's not moving because it's constrained, so I'm going to move it from here. Now there, it doesn't work because it was flipped, mirror imaged. It won't let me do it, so I'm going to copy it from here to here. Okay, again, it's not letting me do it, so I'm going to copy it again, unconstrain it. Now let's see if it does it to there. Now it does it. So it didn't let me move it, but it let me copy it, but I had to actually unconstrain it. Now I can move this object from there to there, move it from there to there, and later on just simply go architecture, draw a model line from that junction, come straight up, move the object from there to that specific location. Oops, do it again. From there to there. There we go. Oh, still is not accurate. Copy this object, move it from there to there. Now it's pretty accurate. All right, looking at it in 3D, Here it is. All right. So now I have to move it to the right height. So I go back to my section. It's not showing it. So I go back to the level 1 and I pick my section. It's only seeing this far. So in order to see this, I'm going to take it and widen it up. Okay. So now I go back to my section. I can move this object now vertically from here to here. All right. After you move it, look at it this way. All right. So now it's actually in the right place. I have to create the horizontal planes in each side. So I go back to my section 1 and I say, so here I need to create a reference plane. So I go back to level 1 and quickly create a plane that's here and here. So that's my level 1. You could do it in the site, which is better because you get to see both sides easily. So you create a floor if you like. And I'm just going to go here, and my floor is only 12 inches. I can always change my floor typology. So I'm going to go about 60 feet. There's my floor, and I'm going to check it. All right, now I'm going to make another floor. Okay, so floor here, and I'm going to do another one over here, rectangle. There we go. And I'm going to go about 60 feet over here. Now I'm going to check it as well. Go to my section and look at my floors. Now I need to make another floor, copy it from that junction to this junction. Later on I'm going to change my floor thickness, and I'm going to copy this floor from here to here. This allows me to quickly look at it in 3D. So here you can see the planes that are happening. Now, watch what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to go over here, shaded or consistent color. It allows me to see it. So here I can actually see what's going on in terms of the floors, rotated around, and see that I actually created a parking garage.